Hello, this is your friendly neighbor Dr. Jimmy128, and I'm going to be bringing to you a clan versus clan, a clan wars, a guild versus guild, whatever you like to call it. This is going to be Team Exorbitant versus Team Mineski. This is set 3, game number 2. This is going to be against Mineski Rai, or Ray Foggy, spawning as the light blue Terran on the bottom, what hand is this? Left hand corner of the map. And we have Exo Trigger from Team Exorbitant. Trigger, the green Terran, spawning here on the upper right corner. This is gonna be Zelnaga Caverns. I believe this is the MLG version, where you have the supply depot right here, and it's impossible to spawn in close positions. Get it? Yeah. Anyways, if you guys didn't watch the other game, we saw a great display of drops from both players. However, the fact that Mineski was able to take out all the production facilities of Trigger, well, that basically won him the game because all the while Trigger wasn't able to rebuild his production facilities. Thus, Mineski Rai was able to kill him and attack, and we have a very standard supply depot into barracks. Is actually once again set 3, game number 2. In the first set, it was Zerg versus Zerg between the Dude and Amats. Amats won 2 games to 0. That followed up by Ray against Amats. Ray beat him 2-0. And now Ray's up against Exo Trigger. Is a Terran versus Terran, obviously. And he currently leads set 3, 1 game to nothing. These are best of 3 sets, and it's a best of 9. It's best of 3 per set, and it's a total of 9 sets. Well, best of 9 sets. Best of 3 games per set, and the best of 9 set. Get it? Alright. So it looks like we have the scouting SCVs just checking out what's going on. There's nothing really very peculiar right now about the build, because both builds are absolutely identical. And once again, Mineski Rai is a little bit more refined. Let's say just about a second ahead of Trigger, though it might not make that much of a difference, but every second of delay will, have its effect, have an exponential effect as the game goes on. It looks like we have a factory now going down for Trigger, so he's getting his factory much earlier. And what will Ragged? A factory as well. So right now the builds are exactly the same. Both are grabbing their factories and refinery. Each of them have about 3 Marines to guard the base. 1 Marine just here to check out what's going on. The SCV most probably is going to take the watchtower for vision. And yeah. When I heard that Mineski Infinity Cafe is gonna be opening in Cebu very soon, I heard it's gonna be on June 25. So all the Cebuanos out there, it's gonna be at the old Fuselage Cafe, Game Lounge or whatever in just beside University of San Carlos Talamban campus. Yeah, it's gonna be there, and I heard my sources tell me that Mineski Jabito will be there, the man himself, arguably one of the top players in the Philippines. If you do not know him, then you are not familiar with Pinoy gaming. And I hear there's gonna be a Dota tournament, so all you Dota fanatics, get your ass there. And then there may be a StarCraft challenge where it's an open invitation where players play against Mineski Jabito. And whoever wins, well, wins 2,000 pesos. Anyways, let's hold that thought. The starport now with the tech lab. Is he gonna get the Banshee? Yes, there's a Banshee now on the way for Ray. However, Trigger is deciding to go for a Viking, which is actually a good choice right there. Because number 1, of course, you can counter the Banshee. Banshees can't shoot air, Vikings can. Trigger going for siege tanks, and seems like Rai is not. Ooh, and looks like Mineski Rai's strategy has now been revealed. He's expecting it has to be a Banshee with Cloak on the way. What else could that be? Let's look at the income tab. It's almost identical, 24, 25 Harvesters respectively. Siege tank is, though there's one siege tank. No siege tank, yet an engineering base going up, most probably for upgrades. and a missile turret to detect the Banshee. The Banshee is now out. It's gonna go out and about, around, up and around, but this Viking will ward that off, no problem. Looks like we have siege tech now being researched by Mineski. No siege tank though. Looks like this Viking is gonna intercept the Banshee. Will it be able to see it? No, the Banshee slips on by. However, the Viking does come back. And this looks like it's gonna be the end for the Banshee though. So it looks Mineski should try and get as many kills as he can. There's one kill and that's it. Not exactly the best trade. One SCV for one Banshee. That was definitely a bad trade. Let's go back to the production tab. Siege tanks are now on the way. Siege tech is also being researched by both players, and Vikings now on the way now. Siege tank Viking was a very effective strategy, especially during the beta. Because a little fun fact for those of you who don't know, the Vikings give siege tanks in siege mode one extra range, and of course you get the vision ahead, so that is very much crucial. The Vikings will play the role of spotter for the siege tanks, especially on the high ground. And it looks like this Banshee is trying to take out as many Marines as possible to try and whittle down the ground force as much as possible before reaching the base. Looks like we have more barracks now on the way. We have the stim pack being researched. So there aren't that many Marines on the part of Mineski. Let's look at the unit counting station. Mineski only has 11 Marines, and Trigger has 13. However, that's gonna build down the Banshee though. Gets taken out with a nice scan. Almost took out the siege tank, but great reaction time right there. Mineski is somewhat at a disadvantage because if you own the air, you basically own everything. And this looks like it's gonna be a really quick game. Mineski is forced to pull off all his SCVs off the line to attack the siege tank. The Vikings now being forced to land and get in on the fray. However, the SCVs should be enough. This keeps Rai alive, which is the important thing. Let's look at the income tab. Though Rai only lost a few SCVs, he's actually way ahead. This is because Rai got his expansion. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to point that out earlier. Got his expansion much sooner. Thus, he had double the SCV production, now warping in the orbital command or upgrading into an orbital command. More barracks are on the way right now. Siege tanks and marines. Looks like we have no tech lab going, no reactor going up for this barracks. Just straight up pump one marine at a time. And the Banshee is there's no there you go. There goes the scan. The Banshee tried to kill as many things as possible. However, it's not really that effective. I'm not sure if Rai should keep on making these Banshees because of the fact that these Vikings are on the field. They totally negate the Banshees unless you catch the Vikings off guard, like they're all the way here and then your Banshee is here. It's like we have a drop now that's on the way for Trigger. He should be dropping right here. The starport will be the most vulnerable thing, and here come a squadron of Marines. And ooh, there are two SCVs. Two SCVs. Are we gonna see some bunker play now? Looks like Trigger might want to set up a contain, or they're just there to repair the Vikings. When we have another drop here as well from Mineski, it's a double drop. Trigger though has more drops. Has more units in the drop. However, the siege tank is gonna keep these Marines at bay. But we do have a drop right here. Here come the Marines. Here come the tanks. Here come the. We even have a Hellion here. It looks like Mineski is also dropping right here. The medevac is taken out. However, the Marines are wreaking havoc on the mineral line. Looks like Mineski has lost. No, he's actually pulled away all his SCVs. However, the siege tank here is going to be very deadly. Looks like we have two siege tanks. And this Viking now trying to kill the medevacs. I'm not sure if he should load up, because that'll definitely be the end of the units. However, this looks like this should be enough. Rai should be able to repel that drop. However, the siege tank just now, right? And it looks like we have another attack here up in front. We have the Marines and the Viking here along with the SCVs, so the SCVs want to get in on the action. However, the Marines are falling to the Marines. And it's like we have more Vikings here for Mineski. So excellent defense there. Rai is still alive. Let's look at the Harvesters, and wow. it appears as though the drop for Mineski was much more effective because we only have 14 SCVs left for Trigger, and Rai is at a healthy 34, so Rai is definitely in the economic lead. And this is right. I'd say this is his game to lose right now, unless Trigger can defend and pull off a miraculous comeback. But looks like Rai is now moving in. He wants to end this game and he wants to attack Trigger while he is at his weakest point. Now here comes the scary part. You might want to position your siege tanks just out of range of your opponent's siege tank and get the Vikings in for that extra range. However, Mineski says, screw it, let's go straight in. The Marines run right in and take out the siege tank. The siege tanks now are sieging up, and this looks very bad for Trigger. His entire army has been taken out. Let's look at the army size tab. There is absolutely no army left for Trigger. These are all SCVs and these couple of Marines. And I don't see Trigger coming back into this game, though he's frantically trying to produce as many units as possible. He just doesn't have the income. He's only at 600 mil per minute, and it looks like the SCVs are now being pulled up to try and attack the siege tanks just to try and survive. However, this looks like GG. There you go, Trigger GG's. Mineski takes game 2 of set number 3. So Brai has eliminated 2 eXorbitant clan members. Looks like we're moving on to set number 4, game 1. Let's see what happens.